China launched several missiles around Taiwan recently launching unprecedented military exercises the day after a visit by U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to the autonomous island that Beijing considers its sovereign territory. In today's video, we are going to discuss the new China space missile is above Taiwan. China claims it carried out precision missile attacks across the Taiwan Strait recently as part of military exercises that raised tensions in the region to the highest level in decades. Previously, reports stated that Chinese Navy ships and military aircraft briefly crossed the Taiwan Strait midline on Thursday morning, and Taiwan deployed missile systems and Navy ships to monitor Beijing's activity. The development comes the day after a visit by U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to the autonomous island that Beijing considers Chinese territory. The exercises, China's largest in the Taiwan Strait, began as planned at noon and included live fire in the waters north, south, and east of Taiwan, bringing tensions in the area to a climax in a quarter century. China East Theater Command said around 3:30 p.m. on Thursday had completed multiple launches of conventional missiles in the waters off Taiwan's east coast, as part of planned exercises in 6 different areas that Beijing says will last until noon Sunday. Taiwan's Ministry of Defense said 11 Chinese Dongfeng ballistic missiles were launched into the waters around the island. The last time China launched missiles into the waters around Taiwan was in 1996. Taiwanese officials have condemned the exercises, saying they violate UN rules, invade its territorial space, and pose a direct challenge to free air and sea navigation. Tensions had increased ahead of Pelosi's unannounced but closely followed visit to Taiwan, which defied China's heated warnings. Before the drills officially began Thursday, Chinese Navy ships and military aircraft briefly crossed the Taiwan Strait midline several times in the morning, a Taiwanese source briefed on the matter told Reuters. At noon, warships from both sides remained in the area and in the immediate vicinity, and Taiwan deployed aircraft and missile systems to track more Chinese aircraft crossing the line. They flew and then flew again and again. They continue to harass us, the Taiwanese source said. China, which claims Taiwan as its territory and reserves the right to take it by force, said on Thursday that its differences with the autonomous island are an internal matter. Our punishment of Taiwanese independence advocates, external forces, is reasonable, legal, said the Beijing-based Taiwan Affairs Bureau. In Taiwan, life was largely normal, despite fears that Beijing could take the unprecedented step of launching a missile on the main island, similar to North Korea's launch on the northern island of Hokkaido from Japan in 2017. Hairy companion. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi called Pelosi's visit to Taiwan a manic, irresponsible, and highly irrational act by the U.S., state broadcaster CCTV reported. Wang, speaking at a meeting of Southeast Asian foreign ministers in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, said that China has made its best diplomatic effort to avoid the crisis, but that it would never allow its core interests to come injured. Unusually, the drills in 6 areas around Taiwan were announced with a location map released by the official Chinese news agency Xinhua earlier this week, a factor that some analysts and academics say shows the need for both audiences to play, national and foreign. On Thursday, the top 8 trending items on China's Twitter-like Weibo service were related to Taiwan, with most of them expressing support for the drills or anger at Pelosi. "Let's reunite the homeland," wrote several users. In Beijing, security in the area around the U.S. Embassy remained unusually tight, as it has been throughout the week. There were no signs of significant protests or calls for a boycott of U.S. products. Taiwanese residents have long been accustomed to Beijing's threats. When China says it wants to annex Taiwan by force, it's actually been saying it for some time, said Chen Ming-cheng, a 38-year-old real estate agent. From my personal understanding, they are trying to deflect public anger, the anger of their own people, and turn it into Taiwan. However, Taiwan said its defense ministry, foreign ministry, and presidential office websites were attacked by hackers and warned that psychological warfare could escalate in the coming days. U.S. solidarity. Pelosi, the highest-ranking American visitor to Taiwan in 25 years, praised its democracy and pledged American solidarity during his brief stop, adding that Chinese anger cannot stop world leaders from traveling there. China summoned the U.S. ambassador to Beijing to protest his visit and stopped several agricultural imports from Taiwan. The U.S. and Group of 7 foreign ministers warned China not to use Pelosi's visit as a pretext for military action against Taiwan. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby said earlier this week that Pelosi has the right to visit Taiwan, noting that the trip does not constitute a violation of Chinese sovereignty or U.S. one-time policy, China. The U.S. has no official diplomatic relations with Taiwan, but is required by U.S. law to provide it with the means to defend itself. China believes that visits by U.S. officials to Taiwan send an encouraging signal to supporters of the island's independence. Taiwan rejects China's claims of sovereignty and claims that only the Taiwanese people can decide the island's future. Tell us in the comments section what are your views on this China-Taiwan issue. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you liked watching our content, please consider subscribing to our channel by clicking the subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching.